this is an ambitious story, but you ain't storytelling. At least if not in a clean way. The storytelling here is messy.
Yeah.
I kind of get what he was going for. But this shit goes on so many tangents. It's the cinematic equivalent of man, they just babbling. Y'all know this, man, if you love cinema. Francis Ford Coppola. The man, they say, you know what? This is a true artist right here. This is not a guy, he's got enough money out there. He's made enough money from movies and all that fine wine.
All that wine.
And they said, you know what? Surely a legend and an artist like this man, he ages just like his wine. Fine as hell. Well, some people said not for $120 million he don't.
Is that what's the budget?
The budget is $120 million. And let me tell you something. Everybody said, now, this man gave us such classics. I mean, these are staples of what we call cinematic history from one man alone. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
The Godfather 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Jack. Some people say Jack shit. That's the Robin Williams movie where he was damn man child. Hey, what's that?
The Godfather, though, he holds the record for doing the only original and sequel that both won Best Picture. It's the only person to ever do that.
Yeah. That is very true. Yeah, he pretty much gave us Simple Jack before Simple Jack.
I know.
I like that movie.
Yeah, but then he's done some other movies, that were just fine entertainment. The Outsiders.
Sure.
Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
So this guy, he was, he's a lot of people saw him as being, okay, this is a guy
Don't forget Dracula.
Yeah, of course. Now,
I know.
Dracula's not my favorite.
I know.
And I think Dracula's just a little long and self-indulgent. But and he said, well, you ain't seen nothing. Man has given us a lot of films. And a lot of people say, you know what, he's a guy, he gets it. He's a guy that has been able to switch from auteur to every man's entertainment. Just it depends on his mood. Oh yeah, and one of the biggest classics out there that, if you're a real cinephile, then you know this one, The Conversation.
Oh yeah.
That's one of his
Love
first.
that movie.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant film. Brilliant filmmaker. But again, somebody said not for $120 million of this right here. He tried to go around and give these scripted. This guy's been working on this for 40 years.
I know.
And we're talking about Megalopolis. This is a dream project of his, probably the biggest dream project in his life that he's been trying to get off the ground for half his career, 40 years. Project that require a lot of resources, a lot of money. And a lot of people, listen, that's when because this is Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather.
The Godfather himself.
The Godfather himself. This man went from studio to studio saying, hey man, do you know who I am? Yeah, you the fool asking for $120 million for some shit I don't understand. That's who you are right now.
Exactly. I don't know who you used to be.
Yeah.
But this is who you are right now.
Now, you want to come in with another Godfather or something, then we can talk.
Right.
But this crazy shit right here, brother, I respect you. I love the God. You made me want to get into filmmaking, but now you got to get the out of my office.
Put the camera down.
Yeah, because I can't do it, man. You trying to get me to lose my job?
I just love how, like I said, the hype man when I saw it, and just anytime with any kind of these projects when it's like they've been trying to get this movie made for 30 years. And you're like, so they've been told no for 30 years. I think there's a reason for that. Because I've rarely seen something where somebody was like, I had this project, I've been trying to get on it since I was a child or I was a teenager. And I was like,
I can only think of one time where it was actually good.
What's that?
Phil Tippett's Mad God. He was working on that for decades.
That's a deep dive right there. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I get you, but even he had to go out and do that himself.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. If you are the man that you don't say no to, and you saying no, it's probably not meant to happen. But hey, this man said, all right, all you heathens, all you uncultured fools out there, I'll take my wine money and I'll do it myself.
Do it my goddamn
and
self.
then you're gonna be sorry. When you see the genius up on the screen, all y'all gonna be kissing my ass. All y'all gonna be drinking wine out my anus. You'll find out. Just remember, you brought this shit on yourself. Folks, is this the case? I do support anybody that has a do-it-themselves attitude. You know, that's a true artist right there. Somebody who says, money be damned. My vision is so strong. It means so much to me. I will make it myself.
You have to appreciate passion. That's not rather than a cash grab.
Yeah, that is very much true. And he says, look, it ain't like I'm just throwing some bullshit out there. This is deep right here. He's saying, it is very relevant. We are talking about, hey, listen, we're talking about one of the greatest countries on the planet going through some turmoil right now. A lot of people are saying, hey, look, we all know America kind of messing up. And he said, well, I got a message for you. A lot of times people compare America to the Roman Empire near its fall. And you know what? 40 years later, it was just meant to be for this timing, because that is what my story is about. This is a story about, you got a politician, Mayor Franklin Cicero. And then you got this genius artist who's also, I guess, somewhat of a corporate guy who says, you know what? For my biggest piece of art, I'm going to make a city.
A utopia.
A utopia of a city. Go against all this bureaucratic bullshit that you are doing as a politician. You worried about things as you see it now. I'm seeing the future, and I have a grand vision of a true utopia that will be equal for everybody, and life will be much easier in Megalopolis. Just you wait and see. As you can see, a lot of people have been talking about this movie because the visuals are pretty stunning. You can see that this is a very ambitious project. But how is the movie? Because let's just admit it out there. A lot of people have also, just like the fall of the Roman Empire, they've been waiting for the fall of this movie right here. I don't know why. That seems a little unfair to me, but it is out now. It has not been getting a lot of great reviews. There have been some. Indeed, there have been. But what do we feel about this? People just kissing Francis Ford Coppola's ass? Are people just hating because, well, they invested so much time waiting to hate on this and like, well, you ain't turning back now.
Right.
And they just didn't get it.
And that's another thing. And you ignorant ass people, you just didn't get it. Let's go ahead. Where do we fall on this? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Megalopolis.
One filmmaker has always been ahead of his time.
Damn, what
It's like, you got to tell me all that.
they goddamn Galactus over here. One filmmaker. Goddamn Darth Vader.
From visionary writer and director Francis Ford Coppola comes an event nothing can prepare you for.
Imagine today's society.
Well, that's definitely true. I can back you up on that.
Go.
Francis
Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
Megalopolis. Listen, as you can see right here, I think the concept is kind of cool. This, you have this genius artist who sees the possibility of a better future, and he has to struggle against politics to get it made. Him and the politician, the mayor, played by Giancarlo Esposito. They're pretty much at a battle to get their ideals out there, and they're fighting each other the whole time to do it. Let me just say this, because I'm gonna try to be as fair with this movie as I can. People, there have been people waiting to talk shit about this movie ever since they realized they had the pun that everybody got, Megalopolis. They're like, ooh, I can't wait to talk shit about this. What if it's good? Man, look, I already got
I already turned in my review.
I already bought the name right now. I'm gonna use it, okay? But let me just say this. I meant it when I said this. I do respect Francis Ford Coppola as an artist. I respect the dedication to his dream. And I want to be kind to that. Listen, also, I want to be kind to the man himself. This man is, he's up there.
He's like 85.
How old is he?
85.
85. I'm not saying we can't. Clint Eastwood's still making movies and he's 106. So there's a possibility, and I know he's not really 106, nobody's gonna call me on that. But he is 90 something and he's still making movies. So I'm hoping that we can get another film out of this guy as long as he has the ambition to do so. But when you get up there, man, it's not a guarantee.
Right. So,
there's a possibility the man might not be making another movie. So, again, respecting him as an artist, I wanted to let you know that I'm not looking to come in here and talk bad about this movie. I actually have a lot of respect for this film, and I have a lot of respect for this man's art. But next time, paint a picture. so I had to be there for 2.5 hours.
Right? The format is totally wrong for this.
Well, listen, art is not right. It's not wrong. I can only give my personal opinion of what I think are some flaws with this and what are some strengths with this movie. I think that, I also respect the way he's visually expressing himself. Some people gone back and forth on the visuals and where they look cheap or where they look great. I was fine with them. So, some of this movie looks like it was, even with all the money that's in it, $120 million, it does feel like a guy who was shooting, on his own time and budget or whatever,
Yeah. Well, that was my thing. It's like, I'm shocked to hear that $120 million budget, because I was like, most of these visuals are AI, and that's just somebody typing.
Are they? Is that proven?
Yeah, I mean, at this point you can look. It's
because I don't want to say unless it really is.
It's getting easier to look at AI and see it for what it is.
I was ready to come in here because I had heard Martin say that it looked like AI, and I was ready to be like, no, it doesn't. But as soon as it started, I was like, if it's not AI, it looks heavily influenced.
I just don't want to say that unless we know for sure, because that's not a guarantee. It might just be effects that look like it. But I don't want to say because we don't know.
Okay.
Because somebody will write in and say you're wrong. It is not, unless we know for sure. But I can see what you're saying, because again, some of it does look like a self-funded movie, even for $120 million. But then again, you're talking about a huge cast of people. If Francis Ford Coppola is going to call you, you're probably going to say yes. So, you got people like Dustin Hoffman in there, and then you got younger talent that are hot today, like Aubrey Plaza, and of course, Adam Driver, who plays Caesar in this, the genius artist. But man, listen, I can see this becoming a cult film. I can see down the line people even, saying, you really did not get it. And maybe I didn't. Maybe I'll start reading on and I'll be like, oh my God, they were right. And they can convert me to the ways of what this movie was trying to say. I could probably see that. But I'm going to tell y'all today, I think that the biggest problem, the people who were talking about this movie and criticizing it, I think that is getting criticism, not because, and let's be fair, people, it's not getting criticism because people don't get it. It's not getting criticism because people want to hate it. That might be true for some people, but I mean, I think we can all agree that this is an ambitious story, but you ain't storytelling. At least if not in a clean way. The storytelling here is messy.
Yeah. I
kind of get what he was going for. But this shit goes on so many tangents. It's the cinematic equivalent of man, they just babbling.
Yeah.
There's so many moments in this movie where it's just gaps of babbling.
There's a lot of gaps of babbling, and then every so often the plot kicks back in. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, y'all were talking about that 30 minutes ago. All right, we're doing this, and now we're back to the babbling. And like, oh, okay. Well, now it feels more like a poem. I'm not sure what. Oh, back to the plot. And there's a murder plot. And I was like, does this actually mean anything?
Yeah. I ain't never seen a movie stand up on a podium and filibuster for so long. Because this is, to me, and again, I respect this man. If that's his vision, that's his vision. Who am I to tell him how to do it? But again, this is what happens when it takes 40 years for you to get your project done, because I get the feeling that people just kept saying, look, man, if you compromise here, you got to, tighten the story here. No, that is not my vision. And it's like, okay, you go on then. Don't say I didn't tell you. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people's artistic vision. They don't have a self-edit mode in there.
Right.
And that's what this movie does not have. I think that there is a true ambitious story there that has potential. And I really love the analogy to Rome, and that's because the city in the movie is called New Rome. So we have a lot of Greek imagery in here combined with modern stuff. And okay, that's creative to me. I like that. But it's almost like you had that idea and you couldn't narrow it. You couldn't grasp it. That idea was just running around the room. You could not get it to sit down and actually get it tight. So I think that's a lot of the problems with the movie. And I'll be honest with you, I even read a review. I think a lot of the people who are coming in and really saying, oh my God, this is amazing. I think they got the Coppola effect on them. One dude even said, come on, man. It's Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
I was like, that ain't a review, brother.
That's
and shame on you because you shouldn't be, no review should just be based on kissing ass.
Right.
If you want to smooch a cheek or two, that's fine. But if you want to come here and base it on, well, hey, man, it's that guy. That's like, no.
No, I know. You get that all the time. It's like, hey, he made The Godfather. And it's like, yes, and it's not a protection for this movie. You like the whole Rome comparison. To me, it was so on the nose to being trite. I mean, America has been compared to ancient Rome so many times. I was like, yeah, this isn't really something new. It's only new in as much as it got so worn out, people stopped saying it, but you're bringing it back, I guess. And the whole thing, the genius man who wants to create something, but the government is holding him back. I was like, that's Atlas Shrugged. We're going back to Ayn Rand. I just felt that the whole time with this. But it's all on the special guy. He's the one. He's the Neo. He can change things.
Yeah.
I think the angle that I can't appreciate, though, is that because the project took him so long to make, like it's kind of a metaphor. The movie's a metaphor for him making the movie. And that is an interesting meta thing for him to do. But beyond that, like you're saying, this is an extremely bloated piece of work. The imagery is incredible. The actors are amazing. The sets are beautiful. The script is crazy as hell. And the direction does not work for this format. And it leads to some of these actors. I was telling Martin, I think that Dustin Hoffman gives the worst performance of his career in this movie.
Really?
His character comes across as someone who is borderline like I Am Sam. Like, just like, what was going on here? And I think I have an idea of why the movie ended up this way, but the way that they execute it, it's a mess. There's no way around it. I think, here's my thing about this movie. Yeah. I think that this movie could have been genius if it wasn't a movie, it was done on a stage, off Broadway, on a moderately sized stage, and you did it with a minimal set. People would have walked out going, now that was genius.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting that. But see, listen. When this came out, I actually thought that this was going to be an update or a remake of another film. I had the name mixed up. I thought it was going to be Metropolis.
Right.
Which is sort of the same kind of concept and ideas.
I mean,
a utopian city.
It feels like it's a play off that.
But this one had a tight concept. This one had, it was leaner. And so what we have here, a lot of ideas. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Anytime you got to sell a movie by telling people, yeah, you don't know the crazy shit I'm doing. No, can someone? This is a promotion from the film that you gave me. Now this is I'm gonna go. This is real.
Yeah, this is from Facebook. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this.
This ain't made by some troll.
No,
okay, all right. Says here, can someone tell me what the Megalopolis is all about? If you don't know, then why the am I supposed to figure it out? And I can tell you that that's exactly what is going on here, because that is why a lot of this movie is not working for me, because there are a lot of moments in here, the story details that they just don't flesh out or tell you about at all. I saw some people explaining some of this stuff online. I'm like, y'all just second guessing. All right, y'all making shit up. In the movie has a tinge of a sci-fi element to it too. Caesar can stop time. Yes, time-stopping powers. Now, it's kind of more metaphorical here than actual superpowers, but doesn't serve no story purpose. I mean, am I missing something?
No, not. It's funny because it's metaphorical and not actual superpowers, except when it is. Because there's a point in the movie where it is an actual superpower because you can't use it. But if you take that out the movie, oh no, it affects nothing.
It affects something. Made that shit longer. I mean, it was almost like this man said, let me just have him stop time, the power to stop time, because it just looks cool. It makes a cool looking visual.
Now, stop. Emmy, time stop now.
Great, now we can get on with this movie. I mean, you see how long?
That took a long time.
You see how long that took? For something that we really don't need in the movie.
Right.
Those time stopping powers are there just for this frame of film. What I'm sure he thinks is, a very artistic looking effect or visual right here. It ain't got nothing to do with the story. He does this about 3 times in the movie. There's even points I'm saying, sometimes you should have done this.
And moments like that are perfect examples of what I'm talking about. That looks like a minimalistic type of theater performance, the way that it's all set up there. And some of the acting in this, like when they are moving in real time, some of it is done with grand gestures like you're taught to do on stage, because the people in the front need to have the same experience as the people in the back. But everyone's having the same experience when you're looking at the screen, and it just looks weird.
Most of this movie feels like a stage play.
Yeah. You guys, Giancarlo Esposito's character, you have the time. How come you don't stop time and drive his ass to another country or something? Drop him out there.
Doesn't work like that.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, how does it work then? All kind of stuff.
I know, but everybody with him, he doesn't use it for what it could actually do for him.
Yeah. Everybody's against this man. Just bureaucratic red tape he's got to get through. And meanwhile, or just a simple problem he's got to figure out. Well, just stop time until you do figure it out. I don't know, man. It ain't working today. No, get out of that bullshit. No. I also think that you see these 2 characters right here. The actress's name.
Natalie Emmanuel.
Natalie Emmanuel and Adam Driver as Caesar. You had that. Since we have it on them, I think a lot of your main plot doesn't have too much meat either, because I'm gonna tell you something. I know you like the performances in here. I like the actors. I think the performances are underwhelming or cartoonishly over the top. What's that?
I think that the way that it flows is all wrong. The way that I wrote it down in my notes is it flows like a first dress rehearsal, where everybody knows their marks that they need to hit, where they need to stand, but the delivery and rhythm of the dialogue, because it's trying to be Shakespearean, is totally bad. It's wrong.
Well, I think my problem with this is that, so the majority of the movie is based on the character of Caesar and Julia's relationship. She's the daughter of the mayor, and the mayor feels betrayed because somehow Caesar has wooed her, not only by his own charms and become romantically involved, but also into his vision of what Megalopolis should be. So this is a relationship that should be very complex, and you have to believe that these 2 have chemistry in order to believe that they are fighting so much to get done, and also defying the wishes of people that they love. Yeah, listen, I'm saying all this, ain't no chemistry here.
Zero chemistry.
Ain't no. Did y'all see this shit we just watched? I'm gonna play for just a little bit for y'all. Ain't no chemistry here. You thinking, well, ain't no chemistry because my man Caesar, Adam Driver, he's tormented. People won't stop messing with his vision. No, that's the problem with this script being all over the place. You do not have time to sit down and develop these characters to where you attach to them or have any feelings towards them. And then if you ain't getting that, you ain't getting no chemistry between these 2 characters here.
Do it for me.
People, you think that this is just a deep moment or something? No, that's how their relationship is to the whole movie.
Well, even in the beginning where they're a little antagonistic with each other, and the next thing you know, they're a couple, and it's almost like, well, when did that happen? Was that in a cutscene?
Yeah.
And whenever they're together, there's no passion. They just speak to being together.
It really is. You have Francis Ford Coppola. Now, this is why I might be wrong, but he's put so much investment into this story that he's overstuffed it to the point where it's pretty much it's upstaged the actors to where it suffocated them to where they can't really emote that well to having like important things like chemistry within a relationship. Which hurts the story because that relationship plays a big part of the main plot. So I don't know what the f- you on here then? And subplots. I mean, if you can't get your main plot together, subplots don't matter either. You mentioned something. Audrey Plaza plays this character, Wow. I forgot her last name, but she's a reporter with treacherous intent. You know, she wants to assert her own power into politics. So she's trying to get together with any kind of powerful person that she can. Anyway, listen, you know, this scheming character that she got, she's one of the characters I'll talk about a little too exaggerated for me.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, she's, you know, this treacherous twist of a person that she is comes in so much later in the film that I didn't even know this was a thing.
I love that sound. You're on my territory now, and you're gonna play by my rules.
People, there's some Adult Swim acting right here.
Like I said, the rhythm is totally off.
But Audrey Plaza is an excellent performer. Adam Driver, y'all know, is one of my favorite. Y'all just saw this scene.
Yeah.
This is not a good performance.
No, but you know, it's the direction. You know, she's told your character's kind of over the top and
Yes.
you know, treacherous. So play it up,
People-
which she does. There's a little small contingent of players, of which she is the queen of them. Her and your boy Shia and John Voight, all of them.
Yeah.
Just they're the cartoon, like when Shakespeare would have some characters that were kind of cartoonish along with the drama.
Yeah.
They are them.
Her line reading is so bad, and again, because my man decided to take this story and put so much investment in that story, but not so much in the characters. So you have a brilliant director who's taking brilliant actors and actresses, and they got nothing. They are actually giving bad performances.
Okay? 1. Crassus is mine. Caesar's mine.
Yeah, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but definitely not up to the par of the talent of these people
Yeah.
that we see here.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think that some of the camera work does not complement their performances. I mean, the way that they introduce Shia LaBeouf's character, you hardly even see him in the beginning. It's like, is that him?
Right.
Did I catch that?
Listen,
and they constantly do that, and there's too many characters.
I'm gonna tell you, Shia LaBeouf, and that's him in drag right there, because he plays this eccentric, almost incestuous guy who's having the hint that he's having sex with his sister. I forgot. Let me just say, I don't even know what the hell this character's doing. I don't know what he is. I don't know what they're doing in this movie.
I know.
I think he's supposed to be the villain.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
Well, I guess it's both of them that's supposed to be the villains.
But then again, you know what? Maybe this is the best advertising for this movie. Can someone tell me what the Megalopolis is all about? And that question is certainly applied to Shia LaBeouf here, because when he was on, I was like, what's your purpose? What are you supposed to do besides run around acting a damn fool? He's pretty much like the Joker through half the movie, but I don't want to. And near the end, they bring it all together, but it's like, all right, but that was never really clearly set up to lead to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's where a lot of the criticism comes from in this movie, man. You know, there's a point where you get so ambitious that you just refuse to let go of what your true vision is, when maybe you should go in and maybe do some editing, maybe scrap some details here and there, maybe take some advice and build this part up and get rid of this other part over here. It doesn't feel, it feels like the bloated first draft of some script, the first or second draft, where you start out with 200, let me see here. You have a 140 page script.
Mm-hmm.
140 pages is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the first one before somebody says, you got to cut this down, man. You know, something like this, I believe, could have easily been an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Could easily been an hour and a half.
I mean, considering how simplistic it is when you break it down and take out all the extraneous stuff that doesn't mean anything, yes, an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, to be honest.
It sounds like I hate this. I don't. I actually admire a lot of the ideas here. I do admire the ambition. And I like some of the visuals here. Well, that was one of the things that made me want to see the movie, were some of the visuals here. You know, I remember Oz and I were watching this, the trailer for it, and I was like, damn, this looks kind of cool here. If this was a studio movie, a bloated studio film, and they were doing it just for the money, yeah, this would be some old bullshit. I'm not here to hate on this movie. I respect the man going in and getting that out there. There's some things I like about it, but man, you know, this is too much. It's way too much, and it's way too long. And a lot of things suffer because of this story that does not really make a whole lot. Well, Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's a concept there. And it's being pulled apart by a lot of concepts that really don't really come together very well. So I'm giving this like a low rental, very low rental.
Well, I don't have as much respect for it as you do. I mean, I'm glad I saw it, and I didn't necessarily hate it because I was never bored. I just sat there the whole time going, what is coming next? So now what are you going to do this? I feel like I understood it, but what I understood, I thought was just kind of juvenile and simplistic, and the messaging is old and it's just not as deep as it seems to think it is. It has such a self-importance that it doesn't earn. And as far as the visuals go, I mean, they sort of like that look good on first glance, but they just look so artificial to me. There's no part of this where a performance was good enough where you're like, oh, I'm going to remember that, or maybe Oscar time. That's just not a thing. And it's all about this vision of promoting the guy, the one man, the white guy who will save us all. And this is old. This has been done so many times. Yeah, of course it was 40 years ago he's trying to make it, and now these ideas are pretty much antiquated. And on top of that, it is a slog to sit through. It's just but the visual spectacle of it all is a thing that keeps you in, and hope that by the end you're going to get some satisfying resolution. But it resolves, but not in a way I'd say was satisfying. I'd love to be there with you, Corey, but I do have to give it some old bullshit.
Megalopolis, more like Megalololo. What the is this, man? This movie is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Like, this is a very interesting movie. I don't know if I respect it. I still don't know how I feel about this movie. I definitely respect the director, and I think it's cool that he got to make it, but I have to ask, Lionsgate, how many more nails can you put in this gate, man? You're gonna shut it. This is a lot of shit. A lot of bullshit. So much, in fact, that I think it smidges it up to a rental, because I think this could be fun to watch with people who love film. Other than that, if you do not love movies, steer clear. This is a disaster, but a very interesting one.
If you gave Neil Breen $120 million.
No. When he said that, I was like, yes, because I did think that this is the kind of stories that Neil Breen writes.
Yeah, this. You gave Neil Breen $120 million, and the actors just said, you know what, we'll take it from here. Then this is what this would be. Yeah, you nailed it, man. Yeah. So hey,
his stories are all about the one guy who has the power to save everything.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. I ain't trying to hate, but this is a hard one. And you say you were never bored. Boy, I had to stop and open my eyes so many times I had to slap myself.
Yeah.
I had to poke myself. I had to punch myself. I was falling asleep so many times.
Well, at my screening, you had somebody they set somebody up at a mic to talk to the screen.
For one scene.
Yeah, and I know what scene you're talking about. That did not happen for my movie. I was waiting for it. When he didn't show up, I was like, well, I guess I got to do it. Hey, I was going to ask the question. Well, hey, I got a question. What the is going on?
I mean, because I didn't know it was $120 million. I was like, well, if they paid somebody to go to every screening and do that, I guess that would explain the money.
Hey, me, yeah. Hey, Adam, what the is it about?
Hey, down in front, dumbass.
It's funny because I like this better than Martin, but I was way more bored than you were. That's why I'm saying this. You just out of curiosity, watch it. You might like it, but watch that shit at home.
Yeah.
So you can
take breaks.
Yeah, you take breaks. Cut off if you don't like it.
I was gonna say, or if you decide you just like, all right, that's about enough.
All right, I tried. Or you can keep it on if you like it. I don't know, man.
I could have maybe gone with a low rental if this had been a first-time director with a much lower budget.
Yeah, but hey, man.
And an hour shorter.
Well, yeah, it goes without saying.
Yeah, get to that point, you can't tell nobody nothing.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Yes, as somebody gets to a certain age, they always say you can't tell old people nothing.
Yeah, old legends. Don't be old and a legend too.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you think you talking to? I'm Francis Ford Coppola.
Right. The studio had notes. Fuck the studio. Yeah. What do they know?
Yeah.
They make superheroes.
Yeah, they make superheroes. Did they make The Godfather? Well, actually, they did. Shut up. Get this man out of here. Yeah. Hey, listen, I hope he has another $121 million lying around or something, because that's a lot of money. I get the feeling that this man is just really rich, and $120 million.
Oh yeah, he could afford it.
Yeah, that was.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, that was fucking.
He's like, I
money,
just sell some more wine. I'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. I drink it. They should have gave us a free bottle of wine when we were watching this.
Right?
Then you really would have fallen asleep.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed it more.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Get him, Caesar. They don't tell you what to do.
Freeze time again. That was cool.
Like, his name is Caesar, and you gave him the Caesar haircut. All right, sure.
Hey, man, I told you. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.